born to understand. You were born to obey, to smile on command, to chase shadows painted gold, to make sense of rules etched by hands long dead. But something in you broke the cycle. Maybe it was quiet, maybe it was violent, but there was a moment, a single fracture in your belief, where the familiar lost its shape. And in that moment, you glimpsed it, the abyss, not as metaphor, not as a symbol, but as a presence, silent, watching, waiting. Have you ever truly felt what it means for nothing to matter? Not as philosophy, but as pulse, as breath, as the cold touch behind your thoughts. It doesn't come like thunder. It seeps in like fog, soft, shapeless, absolute. And once it enters, no prayer, no quote, no productivity hack can drive it out. You try to go back. You pretend you never saw it. You scroll, you smile, you chase new dreams dressed in the same costumes. But you know, beneath the surface, you know, the truth no one dares articulate, that the world is not broken because of evil or corruption. It is broken because it no longer believes in its own meaning. A society that runs on performance, on polished surfaces and curated selves, does not fear death. It fears stillness. Because in stillness, the echoes return. The questions grow teeth. Why am I doing this? Who decided this was a life worth living? What if all the things I've sacrificed were for illusions I never chose? You think you're alone in this doubt, but you're not. The silence between conversations, the artificial urgency, the eyes that never meet, it's everywhere. And the deeper you descend, the more you realize nihilism is not an idea. It is a mirror. It shows you who you are when no one is watching. Camus called it the revolt of consciousness, the moment when the soul, stripped of all answers, chooses to face the void rather than lie. But how do you revolt when there's no enemy left to fight? When the battlefield is inside your own chest, and every flag you once carried is burned to ash? You were told to be strong, to stay positive, to be grateful. But no one warned you that strength without direction becomes armor, and armor becomes isolation. You smile, but your eyes betray the weight. You function, but something in you is screaming, not for help, for truth, for clarity, for the kind of fire that purifies, not destroys, the kind that burns to the false gods of comfort and leave behind only what is real. But what is real when everything can be questioned, when even your pain feels performative, your joy conditional? What you hold on to when the center collapses? You may think this is weakness, this questioning, this unraveling. But what if it's the first sign of awakening? What if the ones who suffer most under nihilism are not broken, but closer to truth than anyone else dares walk? The crowd avoids you now. You speak in tones too deep, too honest. They call you heavy, dark, negative. But deep down they know. They feel it too. The quiet scream behind their morning routines. The subtle grief in their ambitions. The absence that achievement cannot fill. You are not lost. You are standing at the door of a transformation that no culture, no religion, no school prepared you for. And that's why it feels like dying. Because the version of you that could survive in the old world is being buried. And the one being born has no name yet, only fire. And so you walk, blind, trembling, awake. Every memory now tastes different. Every smile holds a ghost. Every silence hums with possibility and threat. You are no longer safe in ignorance, and yet you are more alive than ever. This is a paradox no one wants to live through, to face the nothingness and choose, to a meaning into chaos, to say yes to life not because it comforts, but because it dares you. You were not made to escape the void. You were made to dance with it, to carve your essence into the absurd, and make it echo. And in this defiance, this sacred refusal to numb, you become something terrifying and beautiful, a creator, not a content, not of brands, but of soul, of truth, a reality remade from the ruins. The abyss stares into you, and you do not blink. There is a silence that follows the scream, not of despair, but of revelation. When all meanings collapse, what remains is not emptiness, but possibility. You have walked through the ashes of certainty, touched the void with bare hands, and found within it not death, but freedom. The freedom to choose without illusion, to exist without permission, to create without gods. You are no longer a seeker. You are a furnace. The world did not lie to you. It simply feared what you might become once you saw through its illusions. And now, the echo is yours to carry. It will resurface in your quiet moments, in the pause before sleep, in the shadow beneath joy, a whisper reminding you. You were not made to follow. You were made to forge. So ask yourself, not what is the meaning of life, but what fire am I willing to become so the world no longer feels cold? If this truth touched something unspeakable within you, let it breathe beyond this screen. Like, comment and share, not out of habit, but because you know someone else is standing at the edge of their abyss and waiting for a voice to rise. But if something inside you shifted, even slightly, then this was not just a video. It was a mirror. And if that mirror revealed a fracture, a hunger, a silent fire you forgot you had, then you are not alone. This space was not made for spectators. It was forged for wanderers of the void, for those who refuse to numb themselves into obedience. Subscribe, not as a follower, but as a witness to your own awakening. Join us, not for content, but for confrontation. Each video is a crack in the surface, a blow against the numbness, a question that dares to live longer than the answers. The algorithm won't save you. The noise won't heal you. But truth, raw, unfiltered, burning, just might. And here, truth is not filtered. It is unearthed. Welcome to the rebellion of meaning. Welcome to the war against forgetting. This is not the end. It's the first conscious breath of a life that was waiting for you to remember it.